All right, guys, welcome back to another video. Pretty excited today. We're going to cover e-scouting with onX. And if you guys have not yet downloaded the app, go to onxhunt.com and you can save yourself 20%. Use the code BRO. So that's just our way of extending a little bit of savings to you guys. So that works for if you just want a single membership or the elite membership, but it'll save you 20% off. So like I said, use promo code BRO. But today, like I said, I'm going to dive in on the computer and go through how we've got planned for Land of the Free, how we're going to go down, break down New Mexico, Colorado, and Montana. And each state's a little bit different, kind of diving into what we're looking for, either public-private border, some of the habitat, or water bedding sources. So here we go. We've got a problem. It's all good. Bulls off the beaten path. Take 3. Montana. All right, so we're going to jump in here, go back into my trusty little waypoint saved, and we're going to click on Montana. And like I really talked about, a lot of Colorado and Montana have some similarities that we're going to be looking for: terrain, topography. What we have keyed in Montana in the past is kind of hunting some of this border stuff between public and private, maybe looking for some obscure access and how we can get into some country that a lot of people may overlook or think it's private. So this one in particular, there is some public borders around private, kind of based off a highway. There are some trailheads around, but I found this one spot that kind of stuck in my head where I think might be a good way to start. And so like I said, there you can see that a lot of this is private down here in the bottom, but there's a lot of these little chunks of public where, you know, you've got, right here, this one's 600 acres. Like, there's a good chance that you could find elk in this 600 acres. This chunk of state of Montana, you know, is another 600 acres section. So trying to focus in on some of those areas is really where we're going to look for. A couple pieces that really kind of caught the corner of my eye when I was looking through here. A lot of these elk are going to use, in this lowland country, they're going to use a lot on this bottomland, where they're going to be down in those fields at night feeding and then moving back up the canyon to hunt or where they're going to come up the canyon and bed in the midday afternoon. And so let's dive in here, kind of going through what some of this looks like. This particular piece that I found, it would look like private if you're driving through here, but this corner of this public crosses that highway. This is a good point. I'm going to change why we're talking about this. I talk about blue a lot of times is that color of looking for access and scouting. I'm going to change that waypoint. This would be a good spot to park and hunt right from the highway, right from the road here. And you can kind of poke up all, you know, like I said, a lot of these elk could be down in this bottomland at night feeding, and they're going to move that terrain kind of up this creek drainage mid-morning and find a spot to bed up here in this north face. And this isn't so much looking for you have to go deeper and go back in there further. It's just trying to look at those little niche spots that may be overlooked by a lot of people. Not a trailhead, not access points. So, like I said, all this deep north-facing timber is prime bedding area. So I'm going to go in here, add that waypoint bedding area. Move on down, click in blue, click back up as Maynard. Bedding. So we got some Maynard Creek bedding. I'm going to put that kind of in this benchy type country right here, right in that borderland of private land and public. And, you know, like I said, the cool thing, like I said, with onX, using some of these key features, e-scouting directly translates to my phone. So when I've saved that waypoint, I can pull this up, sync up the app, and have this thing ready to go. The other new feature that's really cool that's coming out is as I save a map and do offline maps, it will automatically cue my phone to download that, so I don't have to now go back in. So I can actually select all the maps that I want to download right here on the desktop, and it'll cue my phone. So we'll kind of walk through that quick process. Let's say a new offline map. This is at the 5 mile wide high resolution. We can kind of say, hey, let's try to get the most out of this. Just drop a little hint. There's some new things coming here where you're going to have a lot more customization in your save map profile. Spoiler alert, but we're going to call this Horse Thief Map 1. And click Save. So right here, it's going to say offline maps. Do not download your computer. Please open the mobile app, select the offline tabs, and click the icon. So it's basically going to cue me to save that map. Like I said, we'll kill this app, open it up right here. Click on offline maps right here. Horse Thief map number 1, resavable, and I can download that. So you can do all this. It correlates straight to your phone. It's a very much faster and more efficient way to do that. So kind of jump back in here looking for, a lot of questions get asked on, hey, there's BLM and there's a corner to corner. A lot of states do not allow corner hopping. So you need to just look at the regulations on how those people, each state handles that. I know in Montana, I do not believe that it is legal to corner hop. So you couldn't access the highway here, corner hop over the top and get into this BLM. This BLM you would have to access further over, let's see here. You would have to access this BLM in a little bit tougher spot, a little bit harder terrain to access. You couldn't access it from this BLM. So that's just something to really pay attention to, be cognitive as to where you're going into and what those lands look like. Real quick, while we're kind of talking about how we use Onyx in the field preseason and then also in the field, a lot of times what we're doing when we're bugling, we hear a bull bugle, instantly I'm going to mark up on the map where I think that bull was and give a direction. We kind of estimate the distance and have a real time in our hands where we think that elk is. The next step into that, and I'll just show you in the case of this, say we're in here actually hunting and we're on this finger ridge right here and we heard a bull bugle and it sounded like he was down the hill. Let's say he's down in this country right here. And so we're going to type in bugle, go to the icon elk. Now that we're in the field, we'll save this as cyan. We're in the field. We had a bull bugle. This is where we're standing at right here. How to use the terrain. This is where I'm going to pull up the app and really look through and figure out. It's afternoon. That bull is 800 feet below us. We can drop straight down on him. We have good thermals in our way. If that bull was up over the other side, hey, let's reevaluate. Do we need to drop down and come in underneath them? It's a early morning or late evening. Those thermals are going to be going down. Maybe we need to drop down underneath him and side hill into him versus coming down on top of him right in this route. So definitely one of those things. If we hear a bull bugle, we mark that on our app and look at an approach angle, pull up the hybrid mode, see what the terrain looks like, also see what the satellite imagery looks like. And so utilize those tools in the field what you can. You can definitely save yourself some steps or save yourself a mistake of blowing out a bull because you came in downwind of them, not realizing what those thermals are going to be doing. So pay close attention to that. When you hear a bull bugle, the other side of that I like is if we're day 5 into that and like, man, we heard a bull bugle over there on Monday. Maybe we should go check that out again. You have those waypoints instead of trying to like guess where that elk was. Granted, they may be moved off, but it kind of, those elk were there. A lot of times they'll run that cycle. 5 days later, they may be back in that area. So you have that information saved forever. A lot of times I always say waypoints are free. Just add them. Be diligent about how you sort that stuff. Put a specific name on there, kind of come through a system with color codes or anything like that. Something's useful for you. But appreciate you guys kind of tuning in on all this e-scouting, kind of the information and the approach that we're coming into the season for Land of the Free. Really excited to get in the elk woods. It's crazy. It's already August, and we're just a few weeks out from starting elk season. It's going to be a long road. We got 6 weeks about on the road with 6 states. Pretty crazy, but super excited, and I can't wait to hear that first bull of the season. So if you guys enjoyed this content and brought any value, like I said, if you're new to the channel, this is Born and Raised Outdoors. We're here to entertain, educate, inspire. And if you do us one favor, hit that subscribe button, and maybe share this with your hunting buddy. And it's a good tool to use. Knowing this onX, there's a ton of information out there that you can gather pre-season to put yourself in better position during season. So with that, I'm out of here. Thanks, guys.
No worries over nickels and dimes or a 9 to 5 grind. I gotta get loose sometimes.